How are you coping with the so overchanging of information regarding coronavirus?
Well, it's such a changing event that in any given day it changes 5, 6, 7 times. So we're just doing our very best to stay on top of the situation and make any adjustments that we need to make.
Yes. Now, some school districts in Massachusetts have already closed, and they're projecting even to remain closed until the end of April. You did mention under Wareham Week that you are working on, if it comes that the state say you should close, you're working on a plan. How would you determine if to close a school or not?
Well, there's several things that we're considering. One would be, certainly if we had an active case or a suspicious case in this area, that would be a determining factor. We're also watching our attendance rates. We're seeing parents keeping their children home. Also, as far as with staffing, are we able to staff the buildings? And then are we able to continue to get subs? So there's a number of factors that we're looking at that are helping us make a determination of what we're going to do. Our number one priority is to make sure that our students are safe. You know, the other thing that we are certainly taking under a high advisement is the fact of social distancing and keeping our students, but keeping our staff apart, and hoping that that keeps everybody from virus free.
Yes. Now, one thing that have completely been canceled are activities, student activities. Do you foresee how long this will be?
No, I don't. We're canceling all activities as far as students going on field trips as of today. We're also limiting access to our buildings, so if we have groups that have rented our buildings for building use, we're not going to be allowing that to take place, just because we're working very hard to make sure our buildings are cleaned and sanitized every night, that we don't need disruptions in doing that. So that we feel like that will give us a little bit more of time and an advantage.
Now, Plymouth closed their building for a couple of days in order to clean, and also they had a suspicious case. Are we looking to do the same, close the building to clean?
No, not right now. If we had a suspicious case, absolutely. We would do a very, very deep cleaning. But right now we've been planning for this, and so we've been able to make sure that we have a lot of the equipment that we need and the supplies that we need. So every night everything is sanitized, and we're taking special care with the handles, with the railings, with the tables, etc., just to make sure that we have done everything possible.
How are our kids coping with this? Do they understand what is going on?
Well, I think so, and I think that there's such anxiety around this, that from parents or from the community, that we see our students kind of the anxiety level coming up some, and so that's another issue that we're working through with our students.
May you please talk in length about what you're planning in case, as you said, if we have to close the school, how that's going to look like?
Sure. Well, a couple of things that we really worry about with our students would be feeding. And so we have a plan set up, so if we close, what will happen, we have 8 stations set up through the town, and we will be providing meals through the length of our closing. It will be a grab and go. We will have a couple of hours. We'll be announcing that, and it will be on our website. And what we would need is a parent or guardian merely to come to the site, pick up the number of meals in bags that they need, and just go on for in the next day they'll be back. We've already talked to the Department of Ed for the meals. We know that we're approved for doing that. One of the things that we are exploring would be, are we allowed to provide additional snacks? We've not received guidance on that. And also we do a number of backpacks on the weekends for our students, and we're exploring how can we continue that for our kids to go home, because we really do worry about the feeding. We also have been having discussions for a while with our department heads, with our principals, planning if we do need to close for a period of time, how could we continue learning online? We have Chromebooks, of course, so our teachers use Google Classroom, and so we've been working with different platforms, creating different templates that can be implemented so our students can continue some type of learning. For our younger students that are not Chromebook or accessible, and we do know that we have some families who do not have Wi-Fi, so we've been looking at developing packets that they can take home and continue the learning. Today we had a conference call, and what we were told by the commissioner that we will make up 5 days. So we could be out 15, 20 days, but we will be required to make up the 5 snow days that we have. Everything will be finished by, right now, the way it stands, June 22nd. We will not extend into June farther than that. The other thing is that's coming rapidly upon us is MCAST. Currently, it's still scheduled for the end of March, first part of April, but that's being looked at by the Ed department to see if they're going to make some arrangements and flexibility with that.
Absolutely. We have MCAS. I mean, the seniors, how concerned are we that they will be ready to graduate, and if we are going to have a graduation ceremony?
Yes. You know, right now there are a lot of what ifs, and so we're just trying to take what we know in the moment, make the best possible decision, and then move forward. I know that not everybody will understand why we've made certain decisions. I fully understand that, but I do hope that people understand the decisions we do make are made in the best interest of our students.
Absolutely. Now, it's understandable to have kids stay home in case there is suspicious case in the town, but the criticism is parents may not be home. They need to go to work. How are we preparing for that?
I know that's quite a dilemma for us, because we know that a number of our parents must work, but on the other hand, I can't very well open school to provide daycare when we're closed and when we're looking at preventing a spread of a virus, and that's a concern of ours. And we're not really quite sure how to get around it. I've been in contact with the Y, and I don't believe that the Y has made a decision yet to see if they're going to be open, if we would close. The last I heard from the Boys and Girls Club, they would follow our suit, so if we would close, it would be likely they would close. So, yeah, that is an issue.
Okay. Now, so you said there are a lot of speculations. The situation is changing by the minute, by the day. What is something definite we know?
There's a couple of things. Number one, we're doing everything possible to prepare for something that we've never had to deal with. Never. And so we're trying to think of all possible scenarios, and I know for certain we will not think of everything. So that's one thing I do know. The other thing is we're willing to answer any questions that people may have, because this is new to everybody. what we're trying to do is to make the best decision possible to keep our students, our town, and our personnel safe. And so, if anything, we'll err on the side of caution.
Now, for those canceled trips, especially like in April, student trips, will they be rescheduled later on, you think?
Well, right now we know that the trip that was canceled to Europe has been rescheduled for October. Unfortunately, some people aren't going to be able to make it, and that's a situation that we're trying to work through, so it's a win-win for everybody. I'm not sure we're going to make that goal. And I certainly understand that it's a difficult situation for families.
Absolutely.
We're looking at the Washington trip for our 8th grade students that has been canceled. We are looking at a rescheduled date because we do feel like our students, that's a valuable learning experience, but we also know that there are museums in Washington that are closed, and so we want to make it the most opportune as possible, so we're going to delay and wait till we can have our students experience Washington.
Very good. What message do you have for parents?
That this is a situation that we're trying to do what's best for your child. It's not ideal. It's not something that we ever thought we would be preparing for. And we just need everybody to work together to help us, to offer positive suggestions. And as long as we work collectively, then the outcome will be the very best it can be.
Very good. Well, is there anything you want to add and ask?
We will keep updating our website. And if you go to our website, there's an icon that says, I think, Corona-19, something like that. That's where we'll keep updating messages. Of course, we will be sending messages out through the phones, through email. And of course, if people have questions, do not hesitate to email. We will do our very best to answer in a timely fashion, and just to be patient with us.
Just to be patient. Very good. Well said.
Thank you.